Make the ground shake.
You know what most people don't realize is that all this really began when we walked off the field against Rockmart last year. You know, we were in the first round of the playoffs. We were banged up. We were hurt, and we took a drilling from the football team that we normally don't get beat like that by. And as a coaching staff, we began, you know, making notes of what do we got to do better. So instead of going home that night after a ball game and a long season, you know, each and every coach had input on what we can do to be better, what do we got to do, what changes need to be made. And then the process of where we're at now began that night. And sometimes you gotta go through some hardships and some tough times to really make you go back and focus on what needs to be better. And then, the weight room in the off season was tremendous. Our young guys were hungry. They didn't like the feeling of not finishing the way they should finish. So they lifted and worked hard, in the off season. And you could begin to see their body change. And when their body changed, their mindset changed and their attitude changed, and what they thought they could do and what they thought they couldn't do changed. And then all of a sudden, when things started clicking in the weight room, we get a call from ESPN, and they had talked about wanting to showcase Emory Jones on national television, and we knew what that was going to mean. It was we're going to play some powerhouse from somewhere, against somebody we didn't know, that was going to be tremendously difficult for us, and it was going to be on national TV. And so I didn't want to make that decision for our kids. I let the seniors, I met with those guys, and they knew and understood what kind of teams, high school teams usually get to play on ESPN, and but they sat down and they talked about it, and they were excited about the challenge. And that challenge alone, again, up the energy level in the weight room, up the energy level in how we're prepared in the summer, because they didn't want to go on national television and represent this community in a negative way. And starting off the season, we felt pretty good, and then we roll into the Saraland game and play in a much bigger school. Our kids went out there and played with such heart and passion that we knew we had something special. We fell short in the game, 17-14, but on the field, the way they played, the way they cared about each other, the resilience they showed, let us know as coaches that we had a special group with us. And as the season went going on, there were times when we had to go back and regroup and relearn, because sometimes you can lose a little focus. But the maturity of the kids, they just continue, like I said, to be resilient. They knew when we played good games, and they knew when we played bad games, and and that's difficult to do when you're winning every game. To go back and really look hard at yourself as a player and say, what can I do to be better? But the kids continue to do that. The coaches continue to do that. And, coming through the season, getting that Callaway win was big, setting us up for a 1 seed going into the playoffs. And this year, this bunch, we had talked about always leaving it better than you found it. Well, the senior bunch that's come through now has definitely left it better than they found it. They've taken this program further than it's ever gone before. And the neat thing about it as a coach is every time we meet after a ball game or after a win in the playoffs, you can see the look of excitement on the kids' face, but you can also see that they're not satisfied. I don't think they'll be satisfied unless we win the whole thing, and that makes it fun to coach. It's not been easy. It's been a road. If we play all the way to the Mercedes-Benz, we'll have played 17 football games this year. That's not including what we do in the summer. So the wear and tear on the body and the mindset for these kids to continue to come out and work hard and grind, and it's been a joy to be around and a pleasure to coach.